Hello, welcome aboard, welcome back, welcome whatever, good evening, good morning, whatever. Nigel here with you, Nigel's Modelling Bench. If you're lucky enough to have one of these, this is the Airfix Mk.VIII Spitfire in 1/24 scale. Very, very similar to the Mark 9, just one sprue different and to replace a few little bits and pieces. But yeah, very nice kit and some very, very nice schemes as well. A nice Australian scheme there. Apparently there are some issues with the colour callouts, so check your references, have a look online. I'll certainly be doing that, and I certainly will be building this, and I think we'll probably be doing this after we've done the Stuka. I don't know, we'll see. I keep saying I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, and never get around to it. But anyway, I've got one of these, and Airfix kindly sent me this before the kit was released for review, so I duly did so. And since I got it, I've been gathering up some aftermarket for it. So here we go. You don't actually need aftermarket for it, but in 24 scale, I think adding aftermarket, some nice resin parts, some nice PE, whatever, it's going to make a difference. It's going to make it pop, even if it's just the cockpit you do. But let's have a look at what we've got for this today. So here we have our resin Edward Brassin exhausts. So they're nice. They were for the Mark 9, and these were actually bought for me by one of my kind viewers. So thank you very much. They were sent to me, so that was very good of you. They're actually for the Mark 9, but the engine's the same, so I'm sure they'll be identical. And then we have the lovely air scale options for it. So we've got I've done a review of this. Go back and have a look. We've got the Airscale Pro Spitfire Mk.VIII 1/24 cockpit set. So we've got some different bits and pieces here to go in. We've got some lovely bits of resin and that in there. We've got some wheels. Okay, we've got some main undercarriage and the tail wheels as well. So you can see we've got some lovely proper treaded tyres, which is appropriate for the aircraft. We've got the Airscale RAF QK Sutton harness. So you make that up with photo etch and everything so you can make it look real. We've got the Supermarine Spitfire Mark 9 cockpit upgrade. So this is basically very similar to the Mark 9, but there is a difference in the instrument panel. But the actual sheet itself, don't think because you've got the Mark 9 it looks the same layout. It's not the same. If you look, there are a couple of differences. You also get these 3D printed resin parts in the Mark 8 as well. So very, very nice indeed. So we've got all that lovely stuff there, which Peter sent me from Airscale. So that's pretty cool. Okay, and then obviously you've seen by the title of this video what this video is all about. It's all about the schemes. So you get 3 options in the kit. So we've got number 457 Grey Nurse Squadron, Royal Australian Air Force, Maritime 1945. As I say, apparently this colour call out on the underside is incorrect. I'll be corrected if I'm wrong, but apparently it's incorrect, so check that out. So that's that one. And then we've got option B, which is Hyderabad Squadron in Sindh in Burma 1945. That's a very attractive looking aircraft, and we've got that lovely cheetah on there. Please apply before decal 83, so you're going to put decal 83 over the top of the cheetah there. Okay, so that's option B. And then we've also got option C, which is the US Army Air Force, Italy 1944. So that's in your silver paint. This aircraft was repainted in the field by the US Army Air Force, therefore many stencils may not have been visible. We have shown the model aircraft with them, but it is up to the modeller's interpretation. So I'm not sure what colour the aircraft would have been when they got hold of it, but bear in mind it's been painted over. So if you really, really want to go to town and make it look authentic, find out what colours it was before they painted it, and then overpaint it in silver, and perhaps leave some little bits and pieces of the other colours showing through, where it's chipped, scratched, worn, whatever. You may actually show some of the camouflage showing through the silver paint where it's a bit thin. You can really go to town, and there you go. So there you go, and there's your stencil schemes there. All right. So you've got a beautiful decal sheet that comes with it. You can see it here. It's very large. It's larger than A4. But although we've got that lovely cheetah on there, we've got the shark's teeth, the eyes, lovely roundels, American stars and bars, and then we've got the tail fin flashes. In this scale, you would probably want to mask and paint those anyway. But the other option you have, of course, is to mask and paint everything. So here we have, this is the ManArmy Spitfire Mk.VIII basic markings and stencil masks for the Airfix Spitfire Mk.VIII. Okay, so it includes the shark's mouth and the panther. Okay, so basically we can produce this and this with paint rather than having to worry about decals and getting them to go down and getting them to lay flat, and then you can weather them and not worrying about the colours being correct and everything. And that is always the beauty of these. I do actually, I pretty much review every single mask set that Sven brings out. And you've recently seen me use some on my little 1/48 scale Spitfire for the Jadland build. I did the NMB on the side, Nigel's modelling bench, which they worked really well. They were absolutely brilliant. So what we've got here is a mask set for everything that you can see on here, basically. There may be a couple of bits and pieces that will be too difficult to produce, which is sometimes the case. Maybe the propeller stencils there maybe won't be included, we shall see. But sometimes that obviously there are some things that when you see nose art and that, you know, when it's a very, very complex painting, you know, to make a mask set for that would be nigh on impossible, so then just use the kit decal. Saying that, these kit decals, they are cartographed, they will go down absolutely beautifully, but at the end of the day they are still decals. Okay, so painting and masking is always going to be better, because we always talk about getting that painted on look. What better way to get a painted on look than to paint it on? So there you go. So basically what we've got in here, as usual, we have a lovely front cover. On the back we have all the options. By the way, in the UK you can get this from Hannant's. They stock all the ManArmy products, so get yourself on over to the Hannant's website and order yourself some. So here you can see we've got all the different options. So we've got the 3 options that come with the kit. Okay, so basically you can build the 3 options as standard from the box, so you can use the kit's colour references as your references for this. That's the general idea. So we've got special notes for the cockpit door. We do have the propeller markings on there, so that's good, and we have the fin flashes there. And what Sven's doing here is telling you basically how to go about it and how to do it. He also says painting stars and bars and painting roundels. There are many different ways to go about this. I've made videos. Go back and look in my back catalogue. I've made videos. I think I've made 3 or 4 videos on different ways of doing stars and bars and roundels, and you can do lots and lots of different options. You have to watch those videos and decide which you think is the best. So I know which ones I prefer. And then here we've got the check references on position, height of markings, weed on the backing, and use transfer tape to position the model. Do not try without. I think what he's saying is do not try without transfer tape. Basically, transfer tape is when you put tape over the mask and you rub it down. Okay, you'll have seen me do it on my Spitfire, my 1/48 Spitfire. If you haven't, go back and have a look. It was only done last week, I think. Now it is the 3rd of November 2024, so it was like a week ago, so last week of October. You'll have seen me do it, and I've basically used transfer tape to transfer the letters onto the fuselage. Obviously, if you've got this complex shape here, or even this ZPW, put transfer tape over the top, okay, stick it onto the mask. The transfer tape will stick to the mask better than the mask will stick to the backing paper, so when you lift the transfer tape, the whole thing will come away. You place it on the model, you position it, you rub it down, remove the transfer tape, the mask will stick to the model better than the transfer tape will stick to the mask. If you didn't get that, press your back arrow a few times and listen to it again. It's basically, when you understand it, you'll understand clearly. It's very, very simple. But basically, transfer tape enables you to remove the mask and keep its shape. You can imagine this P, if it's in a rectangle, you lift the rectangle, the P would go all over there and you'd end up with like a 9 or something. So yeah, that's what transfer tape is for. We'll cover that in a second. So basically what we're getting in here is 3 sheets of masks. We've got a small one here with our shark's mouth and our cheetah, puma, whatever it is on there. And then we've got some roundels here for the Aussies, and we've got some stars and bars there for the Americans. We've got our wing flashes there. We do have the stencils. We have the eyes over here, and here are the stencils for the propellers, I believe. And then here we've got all of our walkway lines down here. Okay, you might just want to paint those first and then put a piece of, well, what you could do is that you use the strip. So you can see that on here you have a box frame around a walkway line, so you can put the frame down and then spray the walkway line, or you can spray the line black first, then take the center out of that, put it over the line where you want it to be, and then spray your camouflage, remove the mask, and the black line will show through, or red, whatever colour it needs to be. So we've got big roundels here for the wings. So you can see we've got basically we've got the complete roundel there in a rectangular frame or a square frame, and then we've got the centres here. So what you can do here, you see, you put the whole thing down with transfer tape. All right, what you might want to do is remove the middle, spray the red if it's red, if it's white. Okay, so you might want to remove the middle, spray it white. Then you put that one back in to help cover up that one, remove the outer one and spray the blue. Okay, what I would actually be tempted to do, okay, is spray the area underneath that roundel white first. All right, you could make up a rough mask or just mark off and just spray that area in there white, then put the whole thing down over the top, then remove the blue area and spray the blue. And that way you won't get a step, because when white goes down, it's always, because you have to use more paint, it always leaves a bit of a step. So that's what I would do there. Spray the area on the wing white, put the whole mask down, remove the blue part, spray the blue, remove the whole thing. Job done. That's the simplest way. You could even spray the area white first, put the whole thing down, remove the whole lot, just leaving the centre in, spray this area blue, and then put the whole circle back down, and then spray your camouflage over the top. But as I say, go and watch the videos. You'll see lots of different ways of doing things, but everyone works, but you always get a different type kind of result. So that's what we've got. So basically, let's have a look at what we've got in here. That's the general instructions. We'll have a look at those in a minute. So you can see here we've got walk lines, check your references, add to length, use one ManArmy strips as a guideline, trim and position a model, and then mask off around. Remove one ManArmy strips and airbrush. Try the spares first on a piece of scrap. Use scissors to trim. The reason he's saying use scissors to trim is because when you use a knife, sometimes you can drag it, and you also put an edge on it. If you use scissors, it gets a nice neat cut, as long as they're sharp, obviously. And you can see here he's got the 45-degree beveled corners as well. As I say, I would probably be tempted to paint this black area black first before we do any camouflage. Put your tape strips down over the top of it, and then paint camouflage over the top. And then you can add your stencils after you've done your camouflage. But that's the easiest way to do it, because if you do it the other way round and use the masks around, you've got to mask everything, and then if you find it's not quite straight, whatever. Whereas if you do it first, you can make sure it's good. You can look at it, you can see it, the yellow tape against the black background, and you'll see that it's nice and straight and everything's good. Okay. So shark's mouth. So he's got full instructions on here on how to do the shark's mouth. So let's have a look at what he's saying here. So we've got the shark's mouth here. Okay, so you can see you've got a whole load of masks for the shark's mouth. All right, loads of them. So first, use the two positioning templates P to determine where to position the two halves and learn how to push them down without too much wrinkles. So that's going to be the problem. You've got compound curves, so that's going to be your sole objective here. So you've got the P here, so there's a P there. Okay, get it in the light so you can see it. There's a P there and there's a P here. Look, you can see the P down in the bottom corner. So that's going to be your positioning. Making the templates P untacky with the palm of your hand will allow you to use and reuse these. Afterwards, these two templates will no longer be needed. So what they're saying is, I wouldn't put it on the palm of your hand, put it on the back of your hand, rub it down, just do it a couple of times. You've seen me do it loads of times. It removes some of the tackiness, and then you can reposition it and reposition it. So once you've done that, then you know where your shark's mouth is going to go. Once you have defined the starting position and how to proceed, use transfer tape T to transfer the two halves, contour and mask, each in one move to both sides of the model, same way as you did with the templates, then mask off. So you're going to use these parts here, T, over the teeth, okay, over the whole thing, and then you're going to place them on the model in the same position as you had your P. Now what you might want to do, where the P was, you might want to put a piece of masking tape there, sort of V on the end, a V in the corners, just so you know where it was, and then you can place this down in the same position and then push it down. You shouldn't have as much trouble here with wrinkling because you've got so many separate parts and they'll sort of pull themselves into shape. Now first remove the teeth, paint white and allow to dry, then cover the same teeth using the fresh teeth insert. So you're going to remove the teeth. Okay, so you're going to remove these teeth and then paint white. Okay, then you're going to replace what you've painted white with these fresh teeth here. You can see we have teeth here and we have those teeth removed, painted white. Then cover the same teeth using the fresh teeth. Then remove the two centers, red part, paint red and allow to dry. Cover this with respective fresh inserts, mark off if necessary. So you're going to paint your white bits first, mask the teeth off, then remove the red bits, okay, paint that red, and then replace that with these fresh inserts. And they're going to cover the, they're going to half cover the teeth as well. So you can just put those back in, okay? And you've got two lots of those for some reason. For the final black contour, remove it and paint very dark grey, as black might be too harsh. Once the black has been painted, very slowly remove the mask. Sanding is possible using 4000 plus grit. So what you're going to do here is remove the... I'm just trying to see. Yes. Okay, so if I can just find something to point with. This is red in the centre. So you can see what I'm pointing at. This is red in the centre. The teeth are white, and this area here is black. So basically its gums are black. So this here is just an outer mask. So when you actually first put it on, you're going to put tape up to this edge, mask off so that the aircraft doesn't get covered in the paint you're spraying. So there we go. Another way of doing it I would maybe suggest is spray, once you know where you're going to go, spray the white first, put the mask down and then leave the teeth in place and remove it and paint the red. And that way you've got the red going on top of the white. Again, you know what I mean. So there we are. So that's on doing the shark's mouth. Shark eyes. I saw them over here. We've got transfer tape for the shark eyes. Apparently, it's saying here. Let's have a look here. Yep, we've got the shark's eyes. So we've got the transfer tape. So they look very, very complex indeed. Use transfer tape T to transfer the entire eye, contour and mask in one move to the model. Now first remove the white part, paint white and allow to dry, then cover the same part using the fresh inserts, remove the red part. Yeah. So basically you're going to go through and just remove each piece and replace it. You can see you've got all those masks there. Okay, they are just for the shark's eyes. So very, very complex. You may decide to just use the decals, but as I said, doing this compound curved linear with decals can be very, very difficult. So so there we go. And I don't think it looked great painted. Even if you make a few mistakes, it'll kind of look more accurate because it wouldn't have been perfect on the real thing. So we've got all the stencils going on down here. Okay, and wherever there's any doubt, he will put a note. Okay, Sven will put a note. And also check on your colours as well, because some might be black, some might be grey, some might be yellow, white, red, whatever. These here are not on the Airfix kit. Check your references. Check your references for these here. These are the bonding marks, which I've been found out from you lovely guys who told me. Not on the Airfix kit. Check your references for these panel markings here. And then we've got the trestle markings there. And then we've got the panther going on the side, and he's telling us how to do the panther, which is also on there with the shark's mouth. In another video, I may actually do that panther and show you how it goes. So that's that. And then you've got all your generic markings there. And as I say, he's telling you the different ways of doing the stars and bars and the roundels. I've shown all that in another video. This MX is going to be check references on position and height of markings, transfer in one move the entire mask and contour to the model using transfer tape. Once on the model, weed the black parts, mask off and paint black. So yeah, there's no talk about painting the white bits. I'm sure you'll work it out. It all becomes clear when you use them. It's not rocket science. So generic instructions, I always go through these whenever I do one of these reviews. So basically here he's showing you that what you can do is, like on your model, if you know exactly where this stencil is going to go on the wing, say it's a walkway marking on the wing, or no walk, or no step, put a straight piece of masking tape on your wing, mark off where the no step's got to be, and then you can make a mark in the center of your mask itself before you take it off the tape, the backing, and then you can butt the edge of the mask up to the tape with the center lines aligned, and then you'll get all your walkways in line, not like this all over the place, and you'll also have them equally spaced because you've previously marked it, and then rub them down. You don't need to use transfer tape with these, they don't come apart. They're very, very good. You will notice that, believe it or not, these things are laser cut. They're absolutely incredible. And you will notice that in some areas, like on these stars and bars, for example, the laser cut goes through the masking tape, but it doesn't go through the backing paper. But where you get these fine little stencils, like you can see here on these M's, you can see, with my finger behind, you can see they're actually cut through. Okay, you can see on the back, yeah, they're so fine you can't even see them on the back, but they are actually, they're cut through. Okay, you can probably see my finger moving across behind there. Alright, so they are incredibly accurate, beautifully done. This set probably takes over an hour to cut. It's that's how it's like, that's what it's like. So what he's saying here, this is like a German, a Luftwaffe fuel marking. So I believe it has a yellow background and a white centre, or vice versa. I can't remember if it's a yellow background and white centre, or white background, yellow centre. I think it's white background, yellow centre in it. So you do this, okay, spray it white, okay, and he's marked the black here. Note that, the black on there. You might want to use pencil rather than black pen, because if you do get any paint on that, it will actually run into the paint. So just make sure it's not going to be anywhere you're going to be near any paint. So what he's done here is sprayed that, put that on there, and then spray the white, and then, or yellow, whichever one it is. And then you can see that he's coloured these corners in so that when you put the next mask directly over the top, they're designed in such a way that when you line these four corners up, that triangle will be perfectly positioned in the centre of that triangle. And then you can spray your yellow or white or whatever colour it is. Okay, so that's what he's done there. Now here, this is a little bit, what he's done is use black pen, and then what he's going to do is spray the colour, or spray the colour first and use the black pen. The trouble is if you get the black pen on what you've just painted, you're going to have to paint it again, and the black pen won't disappear. The black pen will keep coming through. So just be very, very careful and thoughtful about how you go about this. But what he's basically saying here, if you mark the outside, it makes it a lot easier to see. What I've done in the past is after spraying this, okay, so if for instance that's white, you get a very fine sanding stick, a hard stick, and rub lightly over it, and the edge of the mask will appear. And then you can put the triangle in there. This is the little triangular mask to do the little letter in there, the little bit of writing that goes in. Okay, so that's basically what he's done there, using pen to show through the mask, so you've got a contrast between yellow mask over yellow mask. That's all he's doing. So think about how you might want to do it, but just be mindful that if you're using the black pen like a Sharpie, it will run into the paint, so be very careful. Here he's showing he marking, so aligning with putting alignment marks to make sure everything lines up. So basically what he's got here on this 34, you can see he's got a line there for the centre. So we've marked the centre on the fuselage, piece of tape, whatever, mark the centre where it's going to be. And then here, he's put lines, vertical lines at a set distance apart, say it's 25mm. You can make the two same lines 25mm apart to denote the centre where that 34 has got to be on your fuselage. And then when you put your mask down, it all just lines up. They tend to go down very nicely. As soon as you rub them, they're down and you ain't going to get them back up. Okay, they're, especially with things like stars and bars, you need to get it right first time, which is why he gives you spares. As far as the masks go, always start with the bottom left hand corner. Generally the masks are marked in the bottom left hand corner with a number. You can see on here, on this one here for example, you've got walkway forward, okay, and it's got number 24 down in the bottom left hand corner. What I always do, get a bit of masking tape on a mat or something and cut it into little triangles, lift that bottom left hand corner, stick a piece of masking tape under there, sort of sticky side to sticky side, and that way that left hand corner will always be raised off the surface and it's easy to pick up and remove. It saves you scratching the model when you get them off. So that's something to remember if you're using an outer frame. Obviously if you're painting the letter first, the colour of the number first, and you put in the 3 down, then you can't do that. So there you go, so that's that. I've just told you about symmetry and alignment. Airbrushing, make sure you come in from all the angles, okay? Don't just spray directly over the top because you might end up with a very, very soft edge. Make sure you come in from all the angles and keep the paint dry. You don't want any pooling at all. You need a nice, even finish. As again, I point you back to the videos I've done. It shows you how to do it and everything. And here he's got different approaches. We had quite the discussion about this when I made my videos, but I've showed you all the different ways of doing it. So I always find with the white you end up with a large step because you have to use so much paint. If you go back to my Gannet build, I used white on that on the invasion stripes. Oh dear, dear, dear. Well, identification stripes, weren't they? Oh dear, dear, dear. It was awful. It was like a blooming step on there. I used LP37, is it? Racing white, I think. LP39, I think. Racing white. Awful. So thin, needs so much to build it up. That's why now we spray my whites first if I can. Different approaches to do the Balkan cruise. Painting stars and bars, again, different approaches. Complete masks. Importance of transfer tape. This is what I've told you. This is what I've shown you. You know, putting the transfer tape over to keep the 3 in shape. Okay, so here you can see he's got the masking tape under the bottom left-hand corner. He's weeded out the 3. He's put the masking tape, the transfer tape over the 3. He's put the mask onto the model. Now he's removed the transfer tape, and as you can see, the 3 has kept its shape. And that's the main thing he's trying to show you there. Using layered masks that we just talked about with the triangle. Removing the masks, very, very carefully, always remove them nice and slowly. Silicone backing. The brown silicone backing can be used, for instance, to align markings and code letters. So you could transfer code letters, serial numbers and markings to a spare piece of backing. When well aligned space, you can lift everything in one time using, again, transfer tape. I was going to show you this on my Spitfire build, but I ended up just using the kit decals for the serial number. But basically, if you've used all these masks, across here you'll have like a straight line of backing sheet. And as you can see, when you look at the backing sheet, it's kind of shiny. Okay, you can see there, it's kind of a shiny material that the mask won't stick to. So basically what you can do there is just come along, and if you've got to make serial numbers up, for example, like if you were going to make this MT507 from separate letters from a generic masking set, then you could basically use that backing to line them up and then put transfer tape over the top and put them on as one, rather than trying to line them all up on the model. That's basically what he's pointing at there. And here you'd also have, you know, if you use this here, you'd also have this straight line at the bottom to work with as well. So always good. Spare masks. Each set contains about 8 to 12 additional masks. These should allow you to practice in how to prepare, position, airbrush and remove. These spare masks are marked with a tiny X and cover various types of situations and masks. And last details, weathering, fading and chipping are now possible. If necessary, you can sand using a very fine grit. When sanding the small instruction stencils, do try this first with a spare and not on your model. Now, I've shown you this again in my videos, and you can actually sand these and weather them. You can make them look sun bleached. You can wear them like they've been worn away, walked on or whatever, or the paint's just worn away. You can chip them, you can scratch them, and they won't just like tear up like decals do. You have no carrier film to worry about. You have no glossiness or non-glossiness or wrinkling to worry about. You don't have to worry about the colour that the manufacturer has chosen. Quite often we know that with trumpeter kits, we get, you know, American stars with the meatball in the middle and the colours are just awful. You know, you can now make your own colours. You can, and as I say, bleach them, do whatever you want. So very, very good, very, very handy tool. I'm currently building an Airfix 1/24 scale Spitfire, again using all the air scale details in that one, and I have the one man army set for that, kindly sent to me by Sven, and I will be using it on that model. So if you want to see it actually being used on a model, you can see it there. And as I say, at some point I'm also going to be doing this one because I really do like a Spitfire and I've got lots of extras for it, and I want to really get this together and build a beautiful model from it. So I may do it as like a quick build with no engine detail or anything, but really go to town on the cockpit. We shall see. Anyway, there you go. So that's that set. Sven will be at Telford this year at Scale Model World if you're going. So go and say hello. I don't know if he's doing any special show discounts or anything, but obviously if you go there you can see the actual masks themselves. You can have a chat to him. He's generally got some little samples he gives away, and go and have a chat. Sven's a lovely guy, and if I go, I'll see you there, but I doubt that I'll be going this year. But anyway, I will see you all soon. Thank you for watching. As I say, this is available if you're not going to Telford. This is available on Hannants right now. It is a brand new release. So go take a look. I'll see you all soon. Thank you for watching. Bye for now.